Angie Stone's passing sent shockwaves through the music world, leaving countless fans mourning and searching for answers. But as rumors spread and industry whispers grow louder, it appears there may be far more to her story than just a tragic accident. Jaguar Wright, a figure unafraid to speak her mind about music's most guarded secrets, has implied Angie's demise wasn't mere happenstance. The suggestion that powerful insiders might have intervened to protect their own interests has fueled a surge of speculation, with many left wondering what Angie discovered and how it might have jeopardized those operating behind the scenes. In this video, we'll uncover hidden chapters of Angie Stone's life and career, from her days singing gospel in church to her influential yet undercredited neo-soul triumphs, while examining the suspicious details surrounding unpaid royalties and her sudden end. As we explore each twist and turn, you may find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about Angie's final days and the people who stood to gain from her silence. From the start, Angie Stone's relationship with music ran deep. Growing up in Columbia, South Carolina, she spent her childhood singing in church, guided by parents who believed gospel was not just music, but a way of life. This spiritual foundation shaped her soulful tone, giving her a raw passion and authenticity that never left her sound. Her father, a devoted member of a local gospel quartet, introduced her to live performances by well-respected groups, helping Angie see how powerful and transformative music could be. Even before she stepped onto a major stage, her church community recognized her potential, showering her with the kind of support that further fueled her ambition. By the age of 16, Angie's dedication led her to form The Sequence with Cheryl the Pearl Cook and Gwendolyn Blondie Chisholm. Their song Funk You Up carved out a significant spot in hip-hop's early history, eventually influencing artists like Dr. Dre and making echoes in Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars's chart-topping Uptown Funk. Yet, despite its monumental success, the royalties and recognition never came as they should have, foreshadowing a pattern of exploitation that would follow Angie throughout her career. Rather than let bitterness consume her, she pressed forward, confident that her talent and drive could transcend these early setbacks. She knew she was destined for more than a footnote in someone else's story. Angie's faith and determination also molded her unique singing style. Whereas some young artists chase fleeting trends, Angie consistently wove the emotional resonance of gospel into whatever she performed, whether hip-hop, R&B, or experimental tracks. Audiences and industry insiders alike noted how her voice seemed to channel the generations of spiritual music that shaped her upbringing. This unmistakable signature sound would be both her blessing and her burden. It made her stand out, but it also caught the eyes and ears of those who wanted to imitate it without acknowledging the source. Early on, however, she remained optimistic, believing success would come in time if she just kept perfecting her craft. Her industry journey spanned multiple groups and collaborations, from Mantronix's energetic hip-hop and electro-funk to Vertical Hold's smooth R&B. With Vertical Hold, Angie's powerful vocals on Seems You're Much Too Busy grabbed the attention of music aficionados and set the stage for her future breakthroughs. Audiences found her voice magnetic, a soul-stirring blend of vulnerability and strength. Though not every single reached mainstream audiences, insiders recognized Angie's potential as a driving force. She just needed the right platform. That potential shone through when she collaborated with icons like Prince and Lenny Kravitz, even adding her saxophone skills to the mix. These opportunities underscored her versatility. She wasn't simply a vocalist, but a multi-dimensional artist willing to explore different roles in the creative process. Yet many of these collaborations happened quietly, never quite dominating headlines. Angie had a knack for guiding the vibe of a session without demanding the spotlight. Still, the pattern of being overshadowed continued, highlighting the challenges she faced as a female artist in a male-dominated landscape. Her most notable behind-the-scenes contribution emerged in her work with D'Angelo. Providing critical input on both the Brown Sugar and Voodoo albums, she helped craft a sound that would catapult neo-soul to new heights. Even so, as D'Angelo's star rose, Angie's name often faded into the background. Some speculated that personal tensions and conflicting egos contributed to her lack of recognition, while others pointed to systemic biases that frequently minimize women's efforts in the studio. Regardless, her fingerprints were all over the foundational neo-soul landscape, cementing her place as one of its unspoken architects. Angie's clashes with industry figures weren't confined to just one collaboration. She famously alleged that Mary J. Blige had taken the track Every Day, originally worked on by Angie and D'Angelo, and repackaged it as Paradise without proper credit. For a seasoned artist like Angie, who had spent years refining her sound and collaborating with major names, this felt like yet another slap in the face. Meanwhile, Jill Scott's team reportedly observed Angie's performance style and presentation, replicating much of her look and stage mannerisms, again without credit. Though Jill Scott carved her own identity, those who followed Angie's career could see the echoes of Angie's blueprint in Jill's early image. Compounding the problem, Angie's management and legal teams consistently dropped the ball, losing or mishandling major opportunities. She was supposed to star in The Number, one lady's detective agency, a role that might have boosted her mainstream profile immensely. Instead, Jill Scott walked away with the part, leaving Angie to wonder if those meant to protect her interests had truly advocated on her behalf. Over time, it became clear that the individuals around her either lacked the competence to champion her talents or deliberately chose not to, creating a vicious cycle of lost gigs and stifled prospects. These ongoing struggles weren't just professional disappointments, they took an emotional toll on Angie. The creative work she poured her heart into kept gaining traction for others, while she remained in the shadows. Despite the setbacks, she refused to shrink, determined to fight for what she believed she had earned. This steadfast attitude would later become her greatest strength, and, possibly, her undoing when she decided to take her grievances public. Growing frustrations eventually led Angie to threaten legal action over unpaid royalties, directing her anger at several major industry players, chief among them Universal Music. She had discovered that many of her tracks were improperly registered, meaning significant chunks of money were simply disappearing.
That one of the biggest companies that I was with, Universal Music, it's the second part of the ugly truth. We began to research things to check on my royalties and my statements and things that of that nature, only to find out a lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. As I begin to find out things that I never had to look into, because when you hire a team of people that, to some degree, supposed to have your back, you're thinking that they're getting it all together for you. You know, that's why, I respect Oprah Winfrey in that respect when she say, do your own research.
In heartfelt live streams, Angie shared her discoveries with fans, explaining how her attempts to pinpoint where her royalties had gone often ended in dead ends or confusing documentation. These revelations painted a disturbing picture: influential labels and managers profit while artists toil on tour, performing night after night in the hope that their families will be provided for. Angie's experiences echoed countless tales of musicians who become household names, yet find themselves with empty bank accounts. But unlike many artists who remain silent, either out of fear or resignation, Angie decided enough was enough. By publicly calling out corporate misconduct, she stepped onto perilous ground, drawing attention from powerful executives who, according to conspiracy whispers, had little patience for dissent. Her situation was further complicated by the personal stakes involved. A single mother who had navigated multiple professional setbacks, Angie couldn't afford to keep letting others siphon away her earnings. She had children to care for and a legacy she hoped to solidify. For those reasons, her resolve only strengthened, making her more vocal about the behind-the-scenes dealings she believed were geared toward keeping her underpaid and undervalued. Fans rallied behind her, admiring her courage in challenging an institution known for swallowing up voices that dared to speak out. Some predicted a massive lawsuit that could shake the entire business, exposing a long-standing pattern of exploitation hidden behind glamorous award shows and high-profile performances. Shortly after announcing her intentions to sue, Angie was involved in a car crash that took her life, fueling questions about how something so tragic could strike so suddenly. Many fans struggled to reconcile the accident reports with the magnitude of what Angie had been preparing to do. She was, after all, a seasoned performer at the cusp of unveiling damaging information. Some noted the eerie parallels to other artists who had mysteriously passed away right before major legal confrontations or public revelations. As unsettling details emerged, suspicions arose about why Angie was the only casualty. Could it be a freak occurrence, or was there a sinister undertone tied to her outspoken stance? Though official statements deemed it an unfortunate accident, conspiracy theories circulated, speculating she might have been silenced by those afraid of her revelations. While some skeptics dismiss such theories as far-fetched, the music world's history of sudden, unexplained tragedies offers enough examples to keep the conversation going. Rumors also surfaced that Angie may have met harm even before the reported crash, throwing another layer of uncertainty into the narrative. Online forums buzzed with theories, questioning everything from the timeline of events to potential foul play by unnamed operatives. Although nothing has been conclusively proven, the swirl of speculation underscores how deeply Angie's death rattled her supporters. Many were convinced she was on the brink of unveiling industry practices that could implode carefully guarded systems of profit. Enter Jaguar Wright, never one to tiptoe around controversy. She accused high-ranking industry figures of orchestrating Angie's end to protect their interests, likening the situation to other infamous cases where artists vanished soon after demanding accountability. Jaguar's bold statements painted a grim picture of how far some might go to preserve their wealth and power. She drew parallels between Angie's situation and similar incidents involving other outspoken musicians, suggesting that once an artist signals their readiness to wage legal battles, they become a liability to forces operating in the shadows. Jaguar also pointed to a broader pattern of intimidation tactics used against artists who threaten to expose systemic wrongdoing. According to her, everything from smear campaigns to more chilling outcomes could be deployed to maintain a culture of silence. While critics labeled Jaguar's statements as alarmist or opportunistic, her claims resonate with those familiar with the industry's murkier side. Each new name she drops or scenario she outlines only reignites the debate, compelling fans to question whether Angie Stone's passing was truly random or, in fact, a devastating example of how business is handled when livelihoods and enormous sums of money are on the line. For some listeners, Jaguar's words are a wake-up call to the frailty of an artist's position in a multi-billion-dollar empire that relentlessly chases profits. Even if certain details are difficult to corroborate, the overarching theme remains compelling. The fear of retribution might keep many talented individuals from fighting for what they're owed. Angie, however, seemed poised to defy that norm. Her vocal, unapologetic stance could have made her a target, if indeed such clandestine methods are part of the industry's playbook. Even in death, Angie Stone's influence echoes through every beat and riff of the music she shaped. Her rich, soulful vocals and pioneering spirit remain undeniable forces that changed the course of hip-hop and neo-soul. At the same time, her story underscores the grim reality many artists confront: a labyrinthine system where those at the top reap massive rewards, while the creators themselves often struggle to receive proper credit or compensation. Angie fought bravely for justice, refusing to be yet another unnamed casualty of the industry machine. The timing of her accident and the shocking nature of Jaguar Wright's allegations leave behind a swirl of doubts. Was Angie Stone taken from us prematurely because she wouldn't remain silent? Or was her death a heartbreaking stroke of misfortune that coincided with her legal battles? As outsiders, we may never possess the full scope of what really happened. The music industry's hidden corridors, lined with NDAs, opaque contracts, and elusive bookkeeping, can bury crucial truths too deep to see. Nevertheless, Angie's story stands as both inspiration and warning. She showed us how one voice can shape the soul of an entire generation, even as that same voice was stifled at a time when she appeared ready to reveal explosive secrets. By remembering her grit, authenticity, and the love she poured into every note, we honor her legacy and shine a light on the need for transparency in a business that too often thrives on secrecy. We invite you, the viewers, to share your thoughts and theories. Do you believe Angie Stone's death was a straightforward tragedy, or do you think there's more to uncover? Let us know in the comments below, because sometimes only by talking openly about our suspicions can we begin to unravel the most haunting mysteries. And even if the truth remains elusive, Angie's legacy endures. She stands as an example of how talent doesn't always equate to fair treatment, particularly in an industry where money and power often overshadow integrity. Perhaps her boldness in challenging the system can serve as a blueprint for future artists who find themselves shortchanged or silenced. If enough voices echo Angie's determination, the cycle of exploitation might finally be broken. Until then, her tragic end remains a testament to the precarious position of any artist who dares to ask for what they're truly owed. By diving deep into her life and examining the controversies swirling around her final days, we can at least keep the conversation going, refusing to let the curtain fall on another life without questioning every possibility. Ultimately, the more we examine these stories, the more we uncover the hidden mechanics of an industry that may still have plenty to hide, and that's exactly why we must keep digging.